why Kansas wants to expand Medicaid by legalizing medical marijuana. Plus, a proposed bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care, and Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of the vaccine doses.
The 4 states most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, the Galena Bulldogs went head-to-head with the Frontenac Raiders last night. We'll have highlights. And Kansas Governor Laura Kelly wants to expand Medicaid by legalizing medical marijuana to fund it. For something to talk about, we're asking what you think of Governor Laura Kelly's Medicaid proposal. But first, a check on your forecast.
You're going to pitch to me to rise that coffee went down the wrong tube. I mean, that's called life being about timing right there. I was like, I'm going to get one quick sip in before she pitches to weather. Right. You know you were eating. No, it wasn't. It was, these are Kansas City Chiefs cookies. They're compliments of the Dishman family. I call her Grandma Dishman. But no, that's what I was eating. They're absolutely, by the way, can we get a, I don't know how well they show up here.
They're cute.
Look at this.
They're super cute.
I know.
I had one yesterday that had a 15 on it.
We'll pretend there's a head. We'll pretend there's a head there. No, it was
for the head first.
It was the sip of coffee that I tried to sneak in. All right, I'm good. I'm composed. Live television at its finest, folks. All professionalism here from the Skywatch Weather Center. Here's the storm tracker, almost repeat of what we had yesterday. We're going to start with the partly cloudy skies, Freeman Health System sky camera. A little bit cooler, though, than what we had yesterday. Right now, 27 degrees with a wind chill of 19. Hard pressed to find any 32s out there. We had a smattering of them yesterday. Right now, closest we got, we see some 31s on our outlying areas, but like I said, everybody below freezing. But don't worry, the warming trend is upon us, and we're going to be able to make it up into the high 40s, low 50s later on today. Here's the interesting thing that I'm going to pay attention to. It's a little bit, even though it's cold, it's a little bit damp outside. I think we may get some patchy fog that's going to develop. So really, big thing is, Tanya, warming trend remains the same. Of course, today's Groundhog's Day. We know that. I'm not going to get off on that. We warm up all the way, high 50s. We'll even see some 60s on Wednesday before that massive cold front hits and takes us down and makes it a very cold weekend. But also, too, we're going to monitor that fog tracker like no other this morning, because if it builds, it's going to build fast.
Man, those lows Saturday and Sunday night just keep getting lower.
We weren't kidding around about that.
Wow.
Well, enjoy. I mean, the next 3 days are in the high 50s, the mid to high 50s.
Yeah, get done what you need to. That's for sure.
That's going to be great.
All right, thanks, Michael. A bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care. The proposal would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where Missourians could stay at the end of their life. Solace House of the Ozarks in Joplin provides that service. The organization has volunteers who stay with people on hospice 24/7, free of charge, allowing family members to spend time with their loved ones. The bill would create a new classification for end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. The state of Missouri taps local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in each region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of those doses.
I think there's a lot of demand in the community for the vaccine, but the supply has been the issue. And so we can flex to what's necessary. We've got a large workforce here that could be able to help vaccinate as many as we need to. The issue has been not having enough vaccine to be able to do that at this point.
This allows us to know that we're getting X number of doses on this day. Therefore, the next day, we could already be prepared and give those doses, where here in the past we've had to wait until we got the vaccine.
Dozens of community leaders protested at the Arkansas Capitol yesterday against a controversial Stand Your Ground bill. The Arkansas House Judiciary Committee will hear the bill on Tuesday. Jay Jackson was there and spoke with state lawmakers about their concerns.
It sounds simple enough. Stand your ground, meaning you can defend yourself legally with a weapon or use of deadly force without retreating first, if you feel threatened. But what if the other person is not a threat? This is what multiple leaders, groups, and organizations are afraid of with this new bill. So they're taking a stand against Stand Your Ground.
This is not just a bad bill, it's a deadly bill.
Talking about Senate Bill 24, Stand Your Ground, which some feel can lead to an increase of gun violence and put a target on the backs of minorities.
I'm not going to stand here and outline all of the reasons why SB 24 should not pass ever out of the legislature, because I'm going to do that on Tuesday when I vote against it.
Dozens of community leaders, organizations, and allies stood on the state capitol steps Sunday to stand their ground against the bill.
I would love to live in an America where black children, youth, and adults are not traumatized by 402 years of white supremacy. But we do not live in that America. If passed as law, this bill will have a dangerously negative and profound impact on the lives of Arkansans and the criminal and civil justice system.
They say by providing immunity from criminal prosecution and civil lawsuits to individuals who can claim they were acting in self-defense.
This bill allows individuals to be judge, jury, and executioner with little to no consequence for their action.
Current law allows for Arkansans threatened with deadly force the right to stand their ground.
But this law broadens that to allow someone who can't escape in complete safety. In other words, they're not threatened by deadly force to choose to stay and fight and kill.
The support of other representatives and leaders. They prayed over the hearts of those who can make the decisions on the bill for Tuesday, hoping that they keep every Arkansan in mind.
Y'all call your legislators this week, okay? Let's stop SB 24.
The NRA has voiced its support for the bill on its website, saying, quote, if you and your family are attacked in a location that you legally have a right to be, you shouldn't be required to go through a checklist of actions before self-defense is an option, end quote. Police in Parsons, Kansas are asking for the public's help identifying a robbery suspect. Authorities say on Friday, a man robbed the Auburn pharmacy, the man in this picture, inside the King Cash Saver on Main Street at gunpoint. Parsons PD is asking anyone with information or possible security camera video to contact the department. A Miami, Oklahoma man is sentenced in connection to a shooting that targeted a Seneca, Missouri police officer. 24-year-old Bradley Holmes took an Alford plea, which means he does not admit guilt, but acknowledges prosecutors have enough evidence to convict him. Authorities say on September 12th of last year, Holmes was in a car with two other people when they were stopped by an officer. The officer says one of the car's occupants shot at him and hit his patrol car. Holmes is sentenced to 15 years in prison. The other two suspects are still awaiting trial. Jasper County Health Department says 8 more people have died with COVID-19. The patients include 2 women, both in their 60s, and 6 men, 3 in their 60s, 2 in their 70s, and 1 in his 80s. These latest deaths bring the county's total to 127 since the pandemic began. Joplin City Council met last night. Some of the things on their agenda: the new trash contract, a rezoning request for a local business, and a grant authorization for a new trail. The council approved the new trash contract for the residential trash services with Allied Services. The new contract includes a 2% increase in trash services for residents, which will bring the cost from $12.41 to $12.65. The council also approved a resolution of support for a grant to fund phase 1 of the new Tin Cup Trail. It's 5:07.
Temperature is going to be up into the 50s today. Abnormally warm beginning of February before the cold front hits us over the weekend, brings us snow, and temperatures down in the single digits just in time for the Super Bowl.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, a look back at last night's game against Galena and Frontenac. Plus, how Kansas plans to expand Medicaid in the state, And a single-dose coronavirus vaccine could soon be approved. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Galena boys basketball team, one of the best around in Southeast Kansas this season. A 9-game winning streak, 10-2 overall. Last night, hitting the floor against another team on a roll. That would be the Frontenac Raiders. Raiders come in winners 5 of their last 7. First quarter. Check out the finish from Brett Sarwinski. Up and under. Final seconds of the first. Tyler Little turns. Beats the buzzer. Galena up 11 after the first quarter. Up by as much as 17 in the second. Mario McGinney. 3 for the Raiders. Still 30-16 Bulldogs at the half. Third quarter, Jordan Fudge goes to work. Hard bucket and the foul, but Galena will not let Frontenac get back in it. Little. Defense, nah. Turns around, gets it to go. Bulldogs, 10 straight. Final score, 60-44. In the girls' game before that, Frontenac had no problems. Raiders win it 54-16. Reagan Hipful, she had 8 points out of the gate in the first quarter. Almost single-handedly outscored the other team. She would finish with a game-high 16. Well, we finally made it to Super Bowl week. In 5 days, Kansas City Chiefs will play for their second straight Super Bowl, facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Second meeting of the season between these two teams. Chiefs beat the Bucs 27-24 back in Week 12 at Raymond James Stadium, as a matter of fact. Now, yesterday was the official kickoff and media day for the Super Bowl. You got some pretty good questions at this event. No, I'm lying. They're usually terrible. It's boring. But however, Patrick Mahomes was asked what his spirit animal would be.
I would like to be like a wolf. I feel like a wolf, kind of running around with my pack and being able to be a leader and someone that continues to attack and continues to lead as much as possible.
What about your bud, Travis Kelce? What do you think his is?
It's got to be something funny. I think he'd be like a giraffe. You know, he's kind of just out there grazing around the field, trying to make something happen. You know, find his different things that he can run around and do stuff with, and he's always a good time.
And if you have a chance, I'm sure it's on YouTube, it's probably on social media. If you have a chance, it's worth going back and listening to Rob Gronkowski yesterday at Media Day. And you're going to have the phrase, "get your juices a-flowing," stuck in your head for the rest of the day. Coming up in our next half hour, you have a chance to put your football knowledge to the test to win some real cash called Run It Back Trivia. Now, right after Nation Watch, we're going to ask 3 different trivia questions that you can answer from the comfort of your own home. It's just like our KOAM Insta Poll, except just go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. The person who answers not just the correct ones, but answers them also the fastest wins a $50 gift card. Now, don't forget to fill out the form afterwards so we know how to send it to, because you're going to pop up as like user 7624 or whatever. But then after you win, there's a little form at the end. You just put down your name. That way we get it to you. And so Run It Back Trivia kicks off after Nation Watch. Stay tuned. Around 6:35, you're going to have plenty of time to play. And remember, if you don't win this morning, hey, we're doing it every day for the rest of this week. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, a North Korean diplomat now safe in South Korea after fleeing Kim Jong-un's regime. We got your details and a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Perhaps it's appropriate that it's Groundhog Day because we're starting out this morning same way we started out yesterday morning. Mostly cloudy skies. Going to wait for them to break until the afternoon hours, and that's finally when we'll get some sunshine. Freeman Health System sky camera right now chillier than how we started off Monday, though. Only 27 degrees in Joplin, 30 in Miami. Let's roll 26 right now in Carthage. Wind is shifting, though, now coming in from the east, only 5 to 10 miles per hour. And wind chills actually much cooler out to the east. 16 in Mount Vernon, only feels like 18 right now in Lamar. So make sure everybody's bundled up on their way to school. Still got the mess on the eastern seaboard right there with a big winter system. But for us, the warming trend is here. We're going to push high 40s, low 50s today and continue to increase those temps all the way into the middle of the week. Now, we know we got that cold front a-coming, and what it's going to do, present itself on Thursday. We'll top out early, then we'll start as rain. Then temperatures continue to fall. Secondary wave hits on Saturday, and it turns into snow. Time now to turn our attention to the KOAM News Now Facebook page. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly, she wants to expand Medicaid and fund it by legalizing medical marijuana. Pay no attention to Patrick Mahomes behind me. That's got nothing to do with it. I did that. Governor Kelly announced that proposal yesterday, has made expanding Medicaid as many as 165,000 additional Kansans in what she calls a top priority. And Governor Kelly said that previously she'd signed a medical marijuana bill, but hadn't actively pushed the idea. Our question to you, what do you think of Governor Kelly's Medicaid proposal? We've got your details on Facebook. Let us know what you think and take part in our Insta poll this morning. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. We'll get to your comments and your votes. Health Watch is next.
How is yours?
Topping Health Watch this morning, a new coronavirus vaccine may soon be approved. But this one from Johnson & Johnson is different from the other two currently authorized in the U.S. Mandy Gaither explains. Apologize about that. The company plans to request what's known as an emergency use authorization, or an EUA, from the FDA in early February. The data will get a close look from the FDA and advisors to the CDC. College football players are more likely to suffer concussions during preseason practices than during the regular season. A new study published in JAMA Neurology found that nearly half of concussions happened before the full season even started. Most occurred at practice rather than games. Mild defects in brain cells may lead to autism. That's according to researchers in Philadelphia. The study showed the defects occur in mitochondria of batteries of those cells, which produce most of the body's energy. By studying the defects in mice, scientists found they led to repetitive behavior, anxiety, and social challenges. Working outdoors may lower a woman's risk of breast cancer after age 50. Exposure to more sunlight boosts vitamin D levels, which is known to help prevent cancer and infection. Research published in Occupational Environmental Medicine found women who worked outdoors for 20 years or longer had a 17% lower risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We start with the Weather Almanac for this February 2nd, where our average daily high would be 47. And despite coming in a little bit below that yesterday, we'll be able to eclipse it on this Tuesday. Look at that, 1905, where it was 4 below. My goodness. From the Freeman Health System Sky Camera in Joplin, where we sit at 27 degrees right now. The wind has shifted, though. Instead of coming in from the north like it was yesterday, coming in from the east, and that does help us a little bit temperature-wise, as we sit right now in the high 20s and 30s, but it's going to be much better during the afternoon hours. Our wind chills, though, look at out on the eastern part of southwest Missouri. Only feels like it's 16 in Mount Vernon and 17 in Cassville. Whole bunch of teens running through Lamar and Carthage as well. And it's just a matter of clearing off the clouds, and then we can begin our warm-up. But like I said, it's Groundhog's Day. Similar in nature to what we had yesterday as far as our start. Look at the national perspective. Still got the big nor'easter that's now moved up through portions of Kentucky all the way to Maine. Still got about 60 million Americans involved in winter storm warnings and watches, but our temp's going to be in the 50s with afternoon sunshine.
Why Kansas wants to expand Medicaid by legalizing medical marijuana. Plus, a proposed bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care, and Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of the vaccine doses.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour for our Something to Talk About, we're asking, what do you think of Governor Laura Kelly's Medicaid proposal? We get a special Super Bowl recipe from a local chef. But first, a check on your forecast.
Making sure our camera operator Liam there doesn't step on his piece of rubber that protects his ears from the headset. Safety first, kids. Safety first. On this Groundhog's Day, we're going to have temperatures that are going to be able to make it up into the 50s. Partly sunny skies here by the time we get to the afternoon. The only issue is right now as we stand, look at that cloud cover on the Skywatch storm tracker. And it's a little bit cooler than what we experienced on our Monday, despite the shifting winds. We are sitting everybody below the freezing mark. 31 is about as close as we're going to get right now, and that's not even widespread. We've got the big storm system, the nor'easter, now stretching from Kentucky all the way up to Maine. Still millions of people involved in winter weather warnings, watches, and advisories. But our weather trend here in the 4 states is going to be absolutely gorgeous for this Tuesday. Like I said, we're going to be above normal for a February 2nd, and we go back to the 7-day forecast because remember, we've got a massive cold front that works in. First front, it begins on Thursday. Start with some showers in the morning, and then temperatures plummet down. Then we actually have a second cold front that hits us on Saturday. That's going to bring us some snow. Great time to stay in on Sunday. Super Bowl 55, 5:30 kickoff right here on KOAM. No, it's going to be frigid.
Yes, it is.
I was going through icons and everything of what I had, and I was looking, and I'm like, where's the one that reads frigid?
Well, you can make one.
You know the time I had yesterday getting that Super Bowl 55 logo on there? I think it's just going to read cold.
Well, we like alliteration, and we could have frigid football weather. So there you go. Just probably
all right,
not gonna...
I'll get to work. Now I'm like, okay, I'll get to work on it.
All right, thanks, Michael. A proposed law in Missouri would create a framework for end-of-life care homes. Representative Lane Roberts of Joplin introduced a bill that would create a framework for the end-of-life care homes. Places where volunteers would stay 24 hours a day with residents who are receiving care from a hospice provider. Solace House of the Ozarks does that, offering 24-hour support free of charge. Right now, the volunteer-run organization has 2 beds, but they would like to expand that to 10.
A little bit in a limbo. I mean, we have been providing care for guests, but we are still in that limbo of, where do we fit? What are the rules? All of those kind of things that would really put into concrete that our mission is, there to stay.
Solace House hopes to find a new building or build their own if the bill passes, expanding their offering to 10 beds. State of Missouri taps local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in each region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of those doses.
I think there's a lot of demand in the community for the vaccine, but the supply has been the issue. And so we can flex to what's necessary. We've got a large workforce here that could be able to help vaccinate as many as we need to. The issue has been not having enough vaccine to be able to do that at this point.
This allows us to know that we're getting X number of doses on this day. Therefore, the next day, we could already be prepared and give those doses, where here in the past, we've had to wait until we got the vaccine.
A Miami, Oklahoma man is sentenced in connection to a shooting that targeted a Seneca, Missouri police officer. 24-year-old Bradley Holmes took an Alford plea, which means he does not admit guilt, but acknowledges prosecutors have enough evidence to convict him. Authorities, say on September 12th of last year, Holmes was in a car with 2 other people when they were stopped by an officer. The officer says one of the car's occupants shot at him and hit his patrol car. Holmes is sentenced to 15 years in prison. The other 2 suspects are still awaiting trial. Yesterday marked the beginning of Black History Month. It was established in 1970 as a way to honor the contributions of Black Americans. At Pitt State, they're recognizing those contributions with a month full of events. Those include the Black Student Association and Axe Library's effort to highlight Black literature with a book display that includes Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings.
And this kind of just shows solidarity. It just shows awareness of Black history. Black history is also American history, and that the Black students on this campus also matter as well.
You can find more events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. A lot of us are excited, I can read this, about the Chiefs' return to the Super Bowl for a 2nd consecutive year. That's what it said. That's what it said. I'm sorry.
It reminds me.
Ron Burgundy did. I'm sorry.
It reminds me of the 2 Utes. The 2 Utes?
A lot of us are excited. Okay, that's what I meant to say. KOAM's Bronte Saratsky talked with one Webb City man who takes his love for the Chiefs to new heights.
There's no doubt that almost everyone is gearing up to watch the Kansas City Chiefs play in the Super Bowl, but no one is quite as prepared as Jeremy Swearens.
Super Bowl champions, world champions, Kansas City Chiefs.
Swearens, a Missouri native, describes himself as a lifelong Chiefs fan. Just take a look at his self-proclaimed man cave.
That just really removes any doubt to any visitors that come to our home as to how we feel about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Swearens and his wife are empty nesters and use this opportunity to create this space and really show love to their favorite team. Most people might think diamonds are a girl's best friend, but for Chiefs fans, it's Super Bowl rings like this.
And I just like to show my support and dedication to them through collecting things over the years.
Swearens has been collecting Chiefs memorabilia his whole life, but once he started displaying them in his new home, he knew he wanted to do more with the place.
The authentic helmet over there that's been worn by Chiefs players. It has sweat stains on the pads on the inside and everything, so that's kind of cool.
His advice for any avid Chiefs fans who may want their own man cave? Just go for it.
Anywhere you want to start with any budget, just start collecting, and over time that collection will grow, and just as your love for the team has grown.
Swearens believes in life, you can either do things halfway or go all out. And for his favorite team, he's willing to show his support to the fullest. In Webb City, Bronte Saratsky, KOAM News.
Swearens, of course, predicts that the Chiefs will win. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, a Super Bowl recipe.
Well, what's a Super Bowl without Super Bowl food? We're hanging out with Chef Mike, and he shows us some Super Bowl recipes. We've got that for you coming up.
Down on a crime ring making fake vaccines. We'll have the latest, but first it's 5:37.
Temperatures below the freezing point right now, but as we progress through this Groundhog's Day, we're actually going to be able to make it up into the 50s. Keep the warming trend going to the middle of the week before the cold front hits us on Thursday. Even brings us a little snow on Saturday. More KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping World Watch, a high-level North Korean diplomat in Kuwait is now safe in South Korea, having defected with his wife and daughter, fleeing Kim Jong-un's regime. He spoke exclusively to Paula Hancock's.
Roo Hyun-woo told his teenage daughter he'd drive her to school. Instead, he drove to the South Korean embassy and claimed asylum.
I told her, come with Mom and Dad to find freedom. She was shocked and then said, okay. That's all she said.
Roo was acting North Korean ambassador to Kuwait until he defected in September 2019. Part of the North Korean elite, a privileged diplomat of a country that touts itself as a socialist paradise. It was a life Roo and his wife were desperate to save their daughter from. In his first ever interview, Roo reveals how agonizing the decision was to make. His voice cracks when he thinks of his 83-year-old mother, his wife's elderly parents and his siblings all back in Pyongyang.
I just want to see them live long, Any thought of them being punished for what I've done just hurts my heart.
North Korea under Kim Jong-un has had a policy of punishing the families of defectors, a deterrence for those wanting to flee, and lifelong guilt for those who escape. Ru says he watched the 2018 summit between then US President Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un while in Kuwait.
As a diplomat, I thought this might be a political photo op. The US can't back down from denuclearization, and Kim Jong-un cannot denuclearize. North Korea's nuclear power is directly linked to the stability of the regime. I can't imagine they abolish this.
Hi, Joseph Robinette Biden.
As for advice for President Joe Biden, Ru demurs, citing Biden's lengthy foreign policy experience. But he does believe that North Korea will only consider reducing nuclear weapons, not giving them up completely, all while being accepted as a nuclear state. What does Kim Jong-un want from President Biden?
I think he wants the US to lift sanctions.
A move Ru does not think should happen. He also wants the issue of human rights to be an important part of Biden's North Korean policy. He sees Biden's previous nuclear deal with Iran as a sign of hope for dealing with North Korea, but he does offer a reality check.
North Korea is going to be more difficult than Iran.
Well, China is cracking down on a crime ring making fake vaccines for COVID-19. State media reported 3 police departments have arrested more than 80 people involved in producing over 3,000 fake COVID-19 vaccine doses. Police found that since September of last year, those involved have been making huge profits by filling saline solution into injectors, selling them at a higher price. China has been vaccinating its population with shots from 2 companies, Sinovac and Sinopharm. Russian prosecutors will ask a court to send opposition leader Alexei Navalny to jail for up to 3.5 years. Protesters are expected to gather outside a court in Moscow, where the Kremlin critic is due for a hearing today. His calls for nationwide demonstrations have brought a swift response from the government. And Burma's military seizes power in a coup against its democratically elected government on Monday. Military vehicles and soldiers barricaded roads in Burma's capital of Naypyidaw after the military took control. Civilian vehicles were turned away at roadblocks, and citizens scrambled for food supplies. Ruling power was given to Senior Army General Min Aung Hlaing, and the military has imposed a year-long state of emergency. The U.S. joined other countries denouncing the coup, warning consequences if the military does not reverse its actions. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Let's toss it over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
Thank you, Tanya. KOAM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly wanting to expand Medicaid and fund it by legalizing medical marijuana. Asking what you think about that proposal from Governor Kelly. Dave Sorek says tax and spend. John Trebian says yes, make it legal, let the state make money. Good morning, KOAM. Good morning, America. We say good morning, John. Glenn Ritchie says seems to be working well for everyone else. Why not? Good morning, KOAM country and crew. Good morning to you, Glenn. KOAM News Now Insta poll right now. 67% of you say good idea to fund expanded Medicaid through legalizing marijuana. Make your voice heard. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Be back with news you need to know if you head out the door right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Capitol police officer killed in the U.S. Capitol attack last month will lie in honor in the Capitol Rotunda this evening. Officer Brian Sicknick died from injuries suffered during the riot on January 6th. Members of the Capitol Police Force will be able to attend a private viewing tonight. A bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care. The proposal would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where Missourians could stay at the end of their life. Solace House of the Ozarks in Joplin provides that service. The organization has volunteers who stay with people on hospice 24/7 free of charge, allowing family members to spend time with their loved ones. The bill would create a new classification for end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Starting out this Groundhog Day, similar in nature to what we did on Monday, as we've got mostly cloudy skies and Cool temperatures, sitting right now, just everybody below the freezing mark. Whole bunch of mid to high 20s on the board. That wind chill coming in, putting us down into the teens. But the wind has shifted, and that's a very, very big factor as far as what we'll get for the afternoon. So once the clouds depart off to the east and the sun begins to break through, we're going to warm up all the way up into the high 40s, low 50s. So colder start than yesterday, but warmer finish than yesterday. And that's because this trend will continue up until the middle of the week, all the way up into the high 50s, low 60s for Wednesday, even Thursday, when we get some showers. Temperatures are going to be fine. But then that cold front hits, and it takes us just straight down after Thursday. Then we get to Saturday, secondary cold front hits, and we get some snow as we head into an extremely cold weekend. I don't have a clock or anything. I don't know what you guys would want.
Well, the only thing that makes a Super Bowl better, it's pairing it with great food. Ahead of Sunday's game, we stopped by Finn's restaurant in Joplin to check out what Chef Mike is cooking, and it turns out he has mastered the art of the chicken wing.
The Super Bowl is coming up, Mike, and that's why we had to come to you, my friend, because if anybody knows Super Bowl recipes, I mean, it's the dude rocking the Chiefs mask. So
yes.
Last year we made beef tenderloin sliders.
Yeah, we did the beef tenderloin sliders, and those are amazing. I mean, and I'm probably going to have them again this year with the bacon jam and grilled. So if anyone wants to pull that recipe up or message me, I can give them that recipe again, or we can reshare it. But those are awesome. But today we're doing wings.
Ooh, okay.
What we did is we had wings that we marinated, just a little bit of melted butter, some salt, some pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, and you leave those sitting. I like to leave them sitting overnight or 48 hours if you can, so it kind of brines the bone and all that good stuff, the salt. And then we just take seasoned flour, we throw it in seasoned flour, a little bit of buttermilk, back in seasoned flour, and then we're going to fry it in a fryer at 375 degrees. You can do this at home in your Fry Daddy or whatever fryer that you have. Fry them, and I just like to fry them to get golden brown, and then we finish them off in the oven, and then you get a nice, beautiful golden brown fried chicken wing. So always make sure you have your wings on a cooling rack or a baking sheet so that your wings don't get too soggy. And then made up a nice little sauce. So this is Frank's Red Hot, nothing too fancy about it, but then I hit it with a rosemary butter. So heat it up over the stove. You can melt some regular butter in, but I like to do some rosemary. It has a little chopped garlic inside the butter. So you're going to season your buffalo sauce. You just take these bad boys.
And you're just tossing
and
right
in here, yeah, you don't be shy.
Can you over toss wings?
You can't over toss wings. I mean, you sauce them and toss them to the liking of your choice.
They were unbelievable. We'll have more on these on our website, and I can't even talk about it. We'll be right back after this. Whew.
Take a look at our weather trend for this February 2nd, aka Groundhog's Day. Even though we start off with temperatures there that are in the 20s right now, we'll be able to make it all the way up into the high 40s, low 50s. It's going to be a delightful February Tuesday. Remember, we've got a big cold front that's going to work its way in. That's not until Thursday, though. Now, what happens on Thursday, it'll present itself as rain showers Thursday morning. Then we'll have the bottom drop out of the mercury, head all the way down into the 40s for Friday, 30s by Saturday, and Saturday actually presents us with a secondary cold front. That has snow with it. Look at those overnight lows in between Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday. Single digits. Finally get some wind chills. It'll be in the negatives here the first full week of February, and Super Bowl Sunday, a high of 21.
Controversy. And a little bit later, we're challenging you to run it back trivia. Be sure to tune in after our Nation Watch segment and participate for the chance to win a $50 gift card. But first, a check on your forecast.
Wouldn't be right if it weren't Groundhog's Day and it weren't a repeat of yesterday, and that's exactly what we've got on the Skywatch Storm Tracker with a mostly cloudy start and staying on the dry side, as a matter of fact. So just feels like we took yesterday and repeated it, except it's actually cooler this morning. 26 degrees in the Freeman Health System sky camera with a wind chill right now of 21. Don't even have any 32s on the board as of yet. 26 in Monette, 30 in Parsons, 27 in both Fort Scott and Nevada. Now, because the wind has shifted, it's actually going to present us with a little bit of a warming trend, but we've got to get these wind chills way up there. We're still holding on to 19 in Iola. We have seen a nice rebound, though, in Mount Vernon and Cassville, where it was as low as 16 degrees earlier, now sitting at 20 and 21 respectively. The big nor'easter is still stretching from Kentucky all the way to Maine, but really all the action on the eastern side of the Mississippi. And in the Midwest, above normal temperatures, as we're going to have afternoon sunshine and make it up into the 50s. Future track will keep us on the dry side, not only for today, but into Wednesday as well. Thursday is when the action begins to change. Number one, even though temperatures are nice, we've got showers, and then the mercury drops straight down throughout Thursday. 50s Thursday, 40s Friday, 30s Saturday. Those overnight lows plummeting down to single digits Saturday to Sunday and Sunday to Monday.
All right.
It's really two
It's
cold
gonna be a
fronts.
cold
It's not one massive one that sweeps in. It's actually two fronts that kind of go back to back. The first one's the colder temps. The second one's what brings us the snow on Saturday.
Yeah. Not going to be pleasant, that's for sure.
No, but like I said, it's going 2 days to get outside and take advantage of it. It's going to be great.
All right. Well, be ready for it. It's happening.
And you can bring us the latest on Punxsutawney Phil at noon.
I'll do my best to put it right next to the weather segment, too.
Oh, yeah, I know you will. I know you will.
All right. Well, a bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care. The proposal would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where Missourians could stay at the end of their life. Solace House of the Ozarks in Joplin provides that service. The organization has volunteers who stay with people on hospice 24/7, free of charge, allowing family members to spend time with their loved ones. The bill would create a new classification for end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly wants to expand Medicaid and fund it by legalizing medical marijuana. Governor Kelly announced her proposal yesterday. Kelly has made expanding Medicaid for as many as 165,000 additional Kansans a top priority since becoming governor 2 years ago. But top Republicans in the GOP-controlled legislature have prevented its passage. Governor Kelly also previously said she'd sign a medical marijuana bill, but she had not actively pushed the idea. She is wetting two ideas that are likely to face strong opposition among Republican legislative leaders. The state of Missouri taps local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in each region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of those doses.
I think there's a lot of demand in the community for the vaccine, but the supply has been the issue. And so we can flex to what's necessary. We've got a large workforce here that could be able to help vaccinate as many as we need to. The issue has been not having enough vaccine to be able to do that at this point.
This allows us to know that we're getting X number of doses on this day. Therefore, the next day, we could already be prepared and give those doses, where here in the past, we've had to wait until we got the vaccine.
A Miami, Oklahoma man is sentenced in connection to a shooting that targeted a Seneca, Missouri police officer. 24-year-old Bradley Holmes took an Alford plea, which means he does not admit guilt, but acknowledges prosecutors have enough evidence to convict him. Authorities say on September 12th of last year, Holmes was in a car with two other people when they were stopped by an officer. The officer says one of the car's occupants shot at him and hit his patrol car. Holmes is sentenced to 15 years in prison. The other two suspects are still awaiting trial. Greene County, Missouri Sheriff's Office has identified the suspect who was shot and killed last week while attempting to break into a home. 37-year-old Ryan Altman of Milwaukee attempted to break into a home in the 6300 block of West Hawthorne Court on Thursday. Homeowner confronted Altman. During that time, Altman was shot and died at the scene. The incident is still under investigation. Joplin City Council met last night. Some of the things on the agenda: the new trash contract, a rezoning request for a local business, and a grant authorization for a new trail. The council approved the new trash contract for residential trash services with Allied Services. The new contract includes a 2% increase in trash services for residents, which will bring the cost from $12.41 to $12.65. The council also approved a resolution of support for a grant to fund Phase 1 of the new Tin Cup Trail.
Aspects of the Tin Cup Trail that I like it is a trail that kind of shows off some of Joplin's natural beauty, if you think about that south part of town. So it could be one of the more visually appealing trails that we have.
The rezoning request was for Metro Appliances and More, currently located on North Main Street near Airport Drive, to relocate to 3300 North Rangeline Road. That request was approved. Well, years of fundraising and planning culminated in a celebration yesterday with the groundbreaking for the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Complex in front of Joplin's Memorial Hall will be home to Joplin's Connect to Culture and the Spiva Center for the Arts. It'll feature a 470-seat theater and an outdoor amphitheater with a 2,000-person capacity.
Joplin needs a place to celebrate the arts, an intentional space that can be just for arts and culture. It's just going to help grow the creativity in our community. It's also such a positive economic driver for Joplin as well.
Officials expect the complex to be open to the public by late 2022. Well, if you haven't heard, the Super Bowl is Sunday. What? Most of us can't wait that long to celebrate, so four-staters are finding a reason to show off their Chiefs pride every day this week. I've got my red on. In Webb City yesterday, that meant Mirror Monday. Webb City students dressed up as their favorite Chiefs players. As you can imagine, there was no shortage of Patrick Mahomes fans.
Because he's a really great player, and he's just so confident, and I love how he's really nice about everything.
It was really good that I can just be my favorite Chiefs player and show who I want to be like.
Today, Webb City schools will celebrate Touchdown Tuesday when students will wear red and gold. 6:07.
We're doing a little Travis Tuesday on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. We'll shout out to Travis Kelce, fight for your right to party. Give us your best 80s gear right there. Gradually clearing skies for our Groundhog Day. Going to be absolutely delightful this afternoon. We just got to get rid of this morning cloud cover, and we will. We're going to stay on the dry side. Now, speaking of, here you go, Tanya. You had the fist up with a fight for your right to party. Travis Kelce Tuesday. Grab that 87 jersey. Tell us how you're fighting for your right to party. We collect these pictures and videos that you all send in, are kind enough to send in, and then we run them on our evening newscast. Had such a great time with all the pictures you sent in yesterday for Mahomes Monday. So like I said, send in a little shout out to Travis Kelce. We'll collect those and then we'll have them on our evening newscast.
All right. I love that picture of him there. That's a look at this morning's top stories in weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, UK COVID-19 variant has reached Alabama and one man is now in the hospital. We'll have the latest. Plus, the top 3 things to know about the GameStop clash. And Jesse Irwin brings us a special Super Bowl recipe from a local chef.
That's right. Well, Chef Mike's going to show us a phenomenal recipe for Brisket Bombs. Plus, we got Super Bowl trivia coming up. That and more. More Real News in the Morning. We'll be right back.
In Money Watch this morning, Wall Street is gearing up for what could be another week of rocky trading fueled by small investors on Reddit driving up the price of GameStop stock. That's hard to say. In today's Kids Super Watch, Mandy Gaither has the 3 things you should know about this GameStop saga.
Called Reddit Rebellion. While it's too soon to know how it will change the future of investing, experts are sure Wall Street will never be the same.
I want to make more money, and I feel confident it's going up.
Here are 3 things we do know about the GameStop saga. Number 1, it's a David versus Goliath story. In this case, it's a band of amateur day traders versus Wall Street pros known as short sellers. Number 2, here's how it blew up. The popular Reddit message board called Wall Street Bets noticed GameStop was heavily shorted by hedge funds, and then an army of Reddit investors rushed to buy shares in high numbers, driving up the price.
They're placing bets on a market in a way that they're actually affecting the odds of the outcome.
1 year ago, a single GameStop share cost about $4. It's now about $150. Short sellers were forced to buy shares to cover their losing bids, which sent the price of shares soaring even higher. Number 3, the Robinhood backlash on Thursday. Robinhood, the free trading app, suspended trading of GameStop and other red-hot stock shares, citing extreme volatility.
We're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols.
But some accuse the app of caving to pressure from powerful institutions on Wall Street. The next day, Robinhood resumed limited buys on the stocks. Most experts say GameStop isn't able to support such sky-high prices, and at some point, the bubble will burst. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Reddit crowd also drove huge jumps in AMC, BlackBerry, Macy's, and other stocks that were heavily shorted. Meanwhile, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the agency that regulates Wall Street, said it will closely review actions by trading platforms to restrict transactions. SpaceX is preparing to launch 4 civilians into space without any trained astronauts on board near the end of this year. Billionaire Jared Isaacman bought the flight, which he will command. 1 seat will go to a frontline healthcare worker at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The other 2 are for contest winners. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk is expecting the flight to last 2 to 4 days, but said it could go longer. The world's best-known wine region has approved 6 new grape varieties in an effort to combat climate change. In a break from tradition, France's National Institute of Origin and Quality approved the new varieties, with plantings allowed as soon as this coming season. The newly approved varieties, 4 reds and 2 whites, will be added to the 6 red and 8 white varieties already permitted to be used in bottles of Bordeaux. The grapes were chosen for their potential to flourish in conditions caused by global warming. The new grapes are just one of many ways the region is shifting to adapt to modern weather patterns. That's it for Money Watch. Coming up in our next half hour, you have a chance to put your football knowledge to the test and win some real money. It's Run It Back Trivia. Right after our Nation Watch segment, we'll ask 3 different trivia questions which you can answer from the comfort of your own home. Now, it works just like our KOAM Instapoll, except this time you go to this site, KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. The person who answers not just the correct answers, but the fastest will win a $50 gift card. And don't forget to fill out the form afterwards so we know who to send it to. And again, Run It Back Trivia will kick off right after Nation Watch, so make sure you're tuned in at 6:35 and you should have plenty of time to play. And if you don't win this time, don't worry, we'll be doing this every day for the rest of the week. We'll be right back.
Just a touch past 6:17. Still a great time for weather on the 7s because it is Groundhog's Day on this February 2nd. A look at our weather almanac where our average high would be about 47. Despite the fact we came in just a little bit below that yesterday, we'll actually be above it today, and able to do so with a cooler Tuesday start than what we had Monday. Freeman Health System sky camera sitting at 26 degrees right now, but the wind shifting, and that's a good thing as far as what it'll do for us this afternoon, and just 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not looking at anything too blustery. 26 in Pittsburgh, though 26 in Neosho in there as well, and 30 in Independence. But as far as our wind chills go, we were actually down into about 16 degrees in Cassville and Mount Vernon earlier, able to rebound into the 20s. Iola, though, still sitting at 19 degrees. Heavy cloud cover, especially when you work out to the western and southern portion of the 4 states. Just a little sliver right there of clear skies, but it should provide for a gorgeous sunrise because yesterday all that cloud cover was off to the east. It gets lighter there as you look to your east. If you get any great pictures of the sunrise, hey, let us know on Facebook, and we'll try to get some of those at noon. Still got the big nor'easter lasting from Kentucky all the way up to Maine. Winter weather advisories, warnings, and watches stay in effect for about 50 million Americans right now. But our weather trend has us warming up on the mercury until we get to Thursday. That's when the cold front begins, starts as rain. Temperatures continue to drop. Secondary cold front Saturday brings us snow. Look at these overnight lows, single digits from Saturday to Sunday and Sunday into Monday. Now, back to Jesse and Chef Mike.
All right, Chef Mike, we have made some unbelievable wings, but now we're diving into the brisket game?
We're diving into the Brisket Bombs.
All right, so what does that entail?
So this is going to be all your favorites. It's going to be mashed potatoes, and then I go ahead and I put some chopped smoked brisket in these, and we have some cheddar cheese, and we have some jalapenos. We are going to go ahead and put it in some flour, and we roll it up the size of a nice sized meatball, and then you roll it in some panko breadcrumbs, and then we can go ahead and start frying. And again, this is something that you can do at home in your Fry Daddy. This is kind of what you should look like before you fry it. I'm going to have my basket drop because I don't want to lose my shape.
So how long
These don't need very long. Everything inside this is already cooked. Your mashed potatoes are fully cooked. Your brisket is already fully smoked or prepared however you like it. Your jalapenos are done. Your cheddar cheese. Obviously, you're really going just to coat these, get them brown, and then you want the cheese to melt. These are only going to take about 2 minutes to fry up. 375 degree fryer, start to finish. And then we're going to drizzle it with a little bit of barbecue sauce and a little bit of Cajun aioli. All right, and look at these. You know, Jesse, you always challenge me to come up with something new. I'm like, here you have the Brisket Bombs.
All right, while you're throwing that on there, what's your score prediction for the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be a high scoring game on both sides. 38-27 Chiefs.
You heard it here first.
38-27
Mike,
Chiefs.
thank you, man.
Hey,
I
appreciate it. There you have your Brisket Bombs.
Topping Health Watch this morning, one of the first cases of the UK COVID-19 variant has reached Alabama. Birmingham woman says she doesn't know how her husband got it. He's been hospitalized with breathing, kidney, and heart problems. Maya Johnson reports.
And then we went to emergency surgery for an ECMO machine to support his heart. So we went from COVID test to learning about the heart problems to having surgery to support my heart in less than 24 hours.
Ashley Jackson says she knew something wasn't right when her husband, 35-year-old Alphonsier, better known as AJ, started showing COVID symptoms last week. After several tests, they came back negative. AJ's breathing became unbearable. He went to the ER to later find out his heart was failing and he had the UK variant of COVID-19.
I'm thinking, how? You know, we done had these tests, so many at that, even at the hospital.
Ashley says she's trying to be as transparent as possible with her 6- and 4-year-old daughters about what's going on with their dad. Ashley describes AJ as a true girl dad.
He's the candy dad. Like, I don't buy sweets, but he'll go buy it, give it to them, and stick it to the side so they can have it. We have dance parties on Friday where we just play music and they just have fun.
She says AJ hasn't traveled out of the country or state since the pandemic hit. With tears in her eyes, I asked Ashley how AJ is doing now.
He is comfortable. His kidneys is fully dependent on the dialysis machine. The ECMO machine is supporting his heart.
Friends and family reached out and recommended Ashley start a GoFundMe for medical expenses. She was hesitant at first, but is grateful for the outpouring of support.
When he comes home because I'm still hoping that things get better, that he come home, we have a long road ahead of us, like recovery and therapy and nursing facilities until he be able to get strong enough to come home. Those things have to take a part, and I'm just extremely grateful for.
Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Keeping a close eye on the fog tracker. Now, so far, so good. We haven't seen our visibility numbers drop too much, but I do want to point out on the western edge of southeast Kansas, they are beginning to decrease. Kind of moist outside, even with the cooler temperatures. Don't have to really worry about anything freezing over on the road, coming off of yesterday where our ground was very, very warm for this time of year. But visibility could become an issue here by the time we get to 7, 8 o'clock. So that's why we're kind of keeping tabs on it. Now, by the time we get to the afternoon, it's going to be a delightful Groundhog's Day, all the way up into the 50s with partly sunny skies for the afternoon. And then we keep on warming up, almost 60 by the time we get to Wednesday. Cold front moves in on Thursday and we plummet back down. Back right after this.
Starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, look at the massive winter storm that's still sweeping through the Northeast. And after Nation Watch, we're giving you the chance to test your football knowledge with Run It Back Trivia. You can participate for the chance to win a $50 gift card. To play, you just need to go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. But first, a check on your forecast.
Yeah, Tanya, still a mess out there on the other side of the Mississippi. The only thing we got to worry about this morning is simply cloud cover because the entire Midwest remains dry. Now, here is what the storm looks like currently from the Skywatch Storm Tracker as it stretches from Kentucky all the way to Maine. And so still expansive in the fact that millions of Americans are in the midst of winter storm watches and warnings as we speak. As far as what we're going to have on this Groundhog's Day, we're going to be able to make it up into the 50s later on today with afternoon sunshine, despite the fact that our temperatures are in the 20s right now. I know, it's great. I just love it when it just freezes up like that. But look at this weather trend. We're going to have delightful early February temperatures all the way up into the 50s. And get out and enjoy not only today, but actually tomorrow as well, as we'll approach 60 degrees. Now, beginning Thursday, we'll start with rain, and then the cold front moves in on the backside of that front. The temperatures continue to plummet for our daily highs, and then a secondary cold front just in time for Saturday that'll bring some snow, and then a chilly, chilly Super Bowl Sunday. Great idea to lock in for that 5:30 kickoff, and of course we'll have coverage all day long right here on KOAM.
I feel like I might need to add some soup to my Super Bowl menu just because it's going to be so cold.
What's on the Super Bowl menu?
You know, I got wings and pizza.
I think Chef Mike was cooking up.
Brisket bombs.
Yeah.
That'd look good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I got a few things up my sleeve too. Maybe not food, that would be gross, but
No, that
tricks.
That would be awesome.
I just pull food out of my sleeve. Plans. That's what I got. I got plans. All right, thanks, Michael. Proposed legislation in Missouri would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where residents could stay at the end of their life. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details in why a local nonprofit hopes the bill goes through.
This may seem like a normal house on Mina Avenue in Joplin, but really it's what happens inside that makes it one of a kind.
It's a place where individuals who are under the management of a hospice provider can come and spend their last days.
Solace House of the Ozarks is what the organization calls an end-of-life care home, where they provide a 24/7 presence and care to people in their last days. Now, it's different from hospice because they don't provide medical care, but volunteers are there all the time.
So we are filling the gap for where a family member or loved ones aren't able to provide that 24/7 care.
The service is offered for free and officially started in March of 2020.
So we've had the pleasure of serving 5 guests who actually passed in our home.
Right now, Solace House can only offer 2 beds at a time, partially because Missouri law doesn't define end-of-life care homes. something Representative Lane Roberts hopes to change with a new piece of legislation.
I can tell you the need is greater than that, but we want to do this right.
A House bill introduced by Roberts earlier this month would define end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, setting up licensing, rules, regulations, and everything a facility like that would need to operate in the state. In the long run, that would allow Solace House to expand.
This is something that is a labor of love for them. So if we can craft this legislation and make a success of it, and allow them to be able to realize the model that they're after, I think it would be a big deal to them.
We would be 100% ready to grow and looking very much forward to that opportunity to continue serving.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Solace House hopes to expand to 10 beds if the legislation passes. So far, the bill has been read in the Missouri House on 2 occasions. State of Missouri taps local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in each region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of those doses.
I think there's a lot of demand in the community for the vaccine, but the supply has been the issue. And so we can flex to what's necessary. We've got a large workforce here that could be able to help vaccinate as many as we need to. The issue has been not having enough vaccine to be able to do that at this point.
This allows us to know that we're getting X number of doses on this day. Therefore, the next day, we could already be prepared and give those doses, where here in the past we've had to wait until we got the vaccine.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly wants to expand Medicaid and fund it by legalizing medical marijuana. Governor Kelly announced her proposal yesterday. Kelly has made expanding Medicaid for as many as 165,000 additional Kansans a top priority since becoming governor 2 years ago. But top Republicans in the GOP-controlled legislature have prevented its passage. Governor Kelly also previously said she'd sign a medical marijuana bill, but she had not actively pushed the idea. She is wedding 2 ideas that are likely to face strong opposition among Republican legislative leaders. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a massive winter storm update.
More than 2 feet of snow fell in parts of the Northeast yesterday. I'm Elise Preston with more on the storm that's expected to pound part of the region throughout the day today.
And after that, we're challenging you to run it back trivia with a winner getting a $50 gift card. To participate, you'll need to go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia. But first, it's 6:37.
As Jesse feeds me updates from Punxsutawney Phil, the important thing to know is it's going to be mostly sunny and highs in the 50s on this February Tuesday. We'll be back with Nation Watch and Run It Back Trivia right after this.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, at least 2 people are dead due to the massive winter storm that's still sweeping through the Northeast. One from a car accident and another, a 67-year-old woman with Alzheimer's disease who wandered away from her home. The storm has dropped more than a foot of snow since Sunday evening and isn't expected to let up in some places until tomorrow. CBS's Elise Preston is in New York with more on the storm.
Snowplow crews are working around the clock to keep roads clear throughout the Northeast.
We can get walloped with 22 inches of snow and people want their daily life and daily routine to return immediately. That's not always possible.
More than 2 feet of snow has fallen in some places, like here in New Jersey.
Almost as soon as we plow it, it's covered again, so we have to stay on top of it constantly.
With more to come today.
I am actually out because I'm about to buy a snowblower.
Officials want all non-essential personnel to stay off the roads.
If you don't need to be out, go back to your house immediately. If you're in your house, don't leave your house.
Here in New York City, coronavirus vaccine appointments have been canceled and schools are fully remote for a second straight day.
This ball game's not over. We expect a lot more snow before this is over.
Times Square is blanketed with snow, but there were no blankets for the naked cowboy.
While it was all fun and games for many,
We had such a wonderful 2020. This is a great way to kick off 2021.
the storm did also cause hundreds of accidents. In Connecticut, 2 people had to be rescued after their truck slid into a pond. This fire truck in Virginia rolled over while responding to an emergency call, injuring the 4 firefighters inside. And police on the Jersey Shore helped this woman escape the floodwaters that surrounded her home.
3 people also died in Pennsylvania after a dispute regarding snow removal incident. Now, police say 2 people were killed by a man who later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Capitol police officer killed in the U.S. Capitol attack last month will lie in honor in the Capitol Rotunda this evening. Officer Brian Sicknick died from injuries suffered during the riot on January 6th. Members of the Capitol Police Force will be able to attend a private viewing tonight. That's a look at today's top national stories, and now it's time for Run It Back Trivia. And we bring in our resident sports experts, Jesse and Michael.
Blessed with that experts line. But
Just
we
take
did.
it. Just take it.
It's an honor.
In the words of Liz Jankowski, I'll eat that cookie. Absolutely.
Well, you know, Tanya, in a few seconds, we're going to pop up a Super Bowl trivia question on the screen. So if you're sitting at home and you're watching, pull out your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever device you need, go to KOAMnewsnow.com/trivia.
All right, we're going to get this started in about, what do you say, 30 seconds, Erwin?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, you're on the clock. Now, you still got time to log in. It's just like the KOM Instapoll, to be honest with you. You go to KOMnewsnow.com/trivia.
Right. Tanya, can you explain the rules here?
Sure. Here's the rules. You're going to have 13 seconds to answer a multiple choice question. Now, the faster you pick the right answer, the more points you get.
And the winner gets a $50 gift card. So make sure you fill out your information at the end so we know to get you your prize. Michael, do you remember yesterday's winner's name?
I think it was 5776.
You got it. Yeah. User number 5776. So, all right, here we go. Let's get started. First question. Device is ready. Which team has made more playoff appearances? Kansas City or Tampa Bay?
Or
Answer
it's a tie.
now.
Or it's a tie.
Or it's a tie.
Or it's a tie. That's another option. You have a guess? You guys have a guess?
Answers are coming
We're getting
in.
a couple different answers here.
I
Well,
love our poll giving us the live response right there.
survey says, of course it's the Chiefs.
That's impressive right there.
23. Holy moly. All right, you ready for the next question?
Hit me.
Okay. What year did Andy Reid become the coach of the Chiefs? We talking 2010? Was it 2013, 2012, or 2014?
It's weird because time, it's like time flies lately, and then it seemed like it was standing still. The
Getting a
majority
bunch
of the people are saying 2010.
Well, looks like the answer was 2013.
I'll be darned, only 7% clocked in with
Oh,
that. Somebody's got an early
somebody did
lead
get it
here.
right, though.
Yeah. He was with Green Bay and with the Eagles before this. All right, here we go. Last question. Have your device ready. Tanya, read this one. Go for it.
All right. What Roman numeral represents this year's Super Bowl?
All right, options.
Not to be confused with the Roman Gabriel, former
Thank
NFL
you.
quarterback.
So glad we have you here to clarify this sports expert.
I'm not even going to read the options. You can see them on your screen.
You can see them right there.
Yeah.
People are leaning toward LV. Well, there's probably for good reason because
you be right.
Right. Yep. And they were adopted to avoid confusion, which I don't know if that truly helped. Adopting Roman numerals.
You know
Right,
what's
that's a good point. It's a very good point.
confusing is when you put like the stand with the football the trophy like in the middle of it, and it looks like an LIV.
Exactly. Right. Yes. And what's made it even more difficult amongst all of this is that they've made all the logos the same again.
Well, and also too, on top of that, they put the Lombardi trophy in the middle of it.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. So
it looks like LIV.
Right. It like last year it looked like Live, even though Live is actually a club in Miami.
Yes, you pointed that out.
Again, resident sports experts. We've got a winner. Stand by for the final results. And it's viewer 3034.
Woo! Make sure you fill out that 3034. Make sure you fill out that form. I'm looking right at it.
Hey, look at that. We got a
At the very bottom
scoreboard.
of your screen, so we make sure that we get a name. What do we have after that?
Can we pop that back up for a second?
608, 3034 really ran away with this thing. A good 400-point lead over second place and third place.
Well, you know what? That was close. You know, it's all based on timing. So the faster you answer,
right,
more points you get. So, but the good news is, we got it tomorrow, right?
I was going to say, can we do this all again tomorrow?
Let's do it.
Well, let's do it every day this week.
Let's do it.
All right, so now, like Jesse and Tanya said, even if you didn't win, if you're second in line for the prize, if the first person doesn't fill out the form, fill out the form is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They end up $50 either way. And of course, we're going to do this every day this week, about 6:35, right after our Nation Watch segment. So we're going to come back, celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Congratulations, 3034.
We knew you had it in you.
Be right back after this.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero. Victor Yeager, a member of the United States Navy, he served during the Vietnam War. His hometown, Joplin, Missouri. We are proud to salute Victor Yeager, our four-state hero.
Birthday list off with Briar Thornton. As Briar celebrates a third birthday. Captain America right there for you. What a smile on that kiddo right there. Happy birthday, Briar in Thayer.
All right, and we've got Boston. Malikas turning 10 years old this year. Hope it's a great one, Boston.
Little Gerard Trojan pride right there. Happy birthday, Boston. Carson Bailey. What up, kid? Family friend right there. Happy birthday, Miss Carson. And I will give you permission to boss Kale around today. You just have at him. You can do whatever you want. It's your birthday. Have a great day, kid. I'll miss seeing you.
All right, and we've got Blake Hickson turning 15 years old. Somebody's been playing with frogs. And Fort Scott.
Well, I was going to say something about him going frogging because I love going frogging. Blake, if you ever go frogging, I'll go with you.
Don't they call it gigging?
No, you gig with a trident. I go by hand.
Oh.
But I don't know if he went frogging or whether that's like a pet. And so that's why I laid off of that one.
He seems pretty friendly with that guy.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Blake. Lane Moore turning 17. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Lane in Galena.
In Iola, Kansas, Darren Reno turns 52 years old today.
Look at that thing. Nice get. Dolores Timms is celebrating her 90th birthday. Miss Dolores, she grew up in Pitcher. And I want you to know, Miss Timms, that this is a happy birthday wish from Gail, Cotton, Lindsay, and the entire Dawes family. Dolores turns 90 in Miami.
All right, Verna Lou Smith celebrating a birthday in Pittsburgh.
Good job, Verna Lou. That threw me for a loop there for a second until I put together the optics on it. That's funny.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's a mermaid image, right?
That's good.
I thought it was a dress at first.
It's a good picture.
That's pretty cool.
Vicky Punch celebrating her 66th birthday. Vicky is in Neosho. Riley Ellis, a happy 25th birthday. Riley is in Humboldt. And Robert Graham turning 49 in Erie. Now, Robert made life easy on himself because he's like, okay, if I can remember my birthday, I bet you I can remember my wife's birthday. Happy birthday to both Robert and Melody. That's right, husband and wife duo celebrating the same birthday in Erie, Kansas. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Diane Commons, happy birthday in Cherokee. Nancy Bryant, day late, but hey, better late than never. Happy birthday to Nancy in Chanute. And Woody Greenbaugh, a very happy birthday to you in Miami. Give you the screen all to yourself. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to all on this February 2nd. Now, here's Tanya Bach with a very important birthday announcement.
That's right. You can be a part of the KOAM Birthday Club. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up. And once you do, you'll get special deals from local businesses. Go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today.
True Spirit Week continues here at KOAM. And of course, we want you to participate with us. Any photos of you, the kids, even your pets, dressed up in that Chiefs gear. Today, it is celebrating, I take umbrage with this line, one of the best tight ends in the league. I was going to say it. The best tight end in the league. Travis Kelce, get that 87 jersey. And, of course, in the famous, not infamous, the famous words of Travis Kelce, tell us how you're going to fight for your right to party. You can leave those on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. We're going to compile those, run them during our evening newscast. Had a great time with Mahomes Monday yesterday, and we're going to continue this throughout the course of the week. And remember, we got the countdown on KOAMnewsnow.com as we stand 5 days, 10 hours, 35 minutes, and 34 minutes to kick off right here at KOAM.
That's so cool. All right, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Capitol police officer killed in the U.S. Capitol attack last month will lie in honor in the Capitol Rotunda this evening. Officer Brian Sicknick died from injuries suffered during the riot on January 6th. Members of the Capitol Police Force will be able to attend a private viewing tonight. A bill in Missouri could create a new class of senior care. The proposal would create a framework for end-of-life care homes where Missourians could stay at the end of their life. Solace House of the Ozarks in Joplin provides that service. Organization has volunteers who stay with people on hospice 24/7, free of charge, allowing family members to spend time with their loved ones. The bill would create a new classification for end-of-life care homes under the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. State of Missouri taps local hospitals to improve distribution of COVID-19 vaccines. Beginning this month, hospitals in the region of the state will receive a portion of the state's vaccines. Each region will receive 5,000 doses each week. In our region, Freeman and Mercy hospitals will receive a portion of the doses. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Cool right now with temperatures still in the high 20s, low 30s, waiting for the wind to shift and the clouds to part. And when that happens, our Groundhog Day is going to send us temperatures all the way into the low to mid 50s. 7-day forecast with back-to-back warming days. Big action begins Thursday in the form of rain. And then the cold front, not only on Thursday, but a secondary front brings us snow on Saturday.
All right, our Run It Back Super Bowl coverage continues tonight on the KOAM News at 5 and 6. And this evening, the Carl Junction School District enters day 2 of Spirit Week. I guess they're celebrating with Tyreek Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's Travis Tuesday also, right?
Yeah, we're
That's
doing
awesome.
Travis Tuesday. All right, well, coming up today at noon, we've got more Mr. Food recipes to get you prepared for the big game.
All right, morning news continues on KOAM. We've got the CBS Morning News coming up next.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues.
This morning, Jesse sits down with Chef Mike, has some wonderful recipes. I was like Pavlov's dog over here, Irwin. That looks so delicious. And Chef Mike always does such a wonderful job with us. That wraps it up for this Tuesday edition. Have a great, safe, wonderful Groundhog's Day. We'll do this all again tomorrow morning.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.